Hey everybody, today we're going to be going over this new article here titled BLNK Charging announces the all-new BLNK network and BLNK Charging mobile app, redesigned from the ground up, powering the next generation EV charging experience. Alright, so this first paragraph here gives us some information about this. The new BLNK Charging mobile app has been created to meet the needs of more than 6.6 million EV drivers around the world, whether charging in the United States, Europe, or any of the growing number of 25 plus countries in which BLNK operates. Both innovative software platforms have been built on industry-leading architecture to provide an intuitive, seamless, and convenient charging experience built upon reliable, flexible, and responsive platform. Then we've got a quote here from Michael Farkas, the CEO of BLNK. He says, "At BLNK, we're dedicated to providing the best EV charging and proud of the new BLNK network and BLNK Charging mobile app. As an EV charging pioneer, BLNK led the industry with its original platforms, and now we've set the standard once again in bringing EV charging solutions to the next level with our technology-based, user-centric approach to ensure we are providing our customers with the most reliable charging solutions that fit their unique needs now and into the future." Now, the rest of the article here kind of goes over some of these big changes that have been made in this new version of the network and mobile app over those previous versions. So we've got the newly rebuilt cloud-based BLNK network allows BLNK site hosts to onboard and connect BLNK chargers globally, offering global management of chargers in multiple languages across 26 countries with additional languages to be added to ensure we meet the needs of all BLNK users. Site hosts will also have expanded functionality in creating dynamic pricing protocols responsive to application, locations, and schedule. The robust new host portal gives full visibility and control for site hosts across chargers and locations. In addition to the new and improved functionality from BLNK site hosts, the new BLNK network provides the foundation for the company to onboard chargers from recent acquisitions, including Blue Corner, EB Charging, and SemaConnect. So a very important move there to go ahead and sort of streamline the whole process, the whole network across BLNK, SemaConnect, EB, and Blue Corner. These are all things that were previously kind of very fragmented. So it is good overall to have this happen here, having all of these networks that BLNK now owns start to get streamlined under one network. But there could be some problems that come up with this that we'll get into shortly. But continuing on with this article here, it says the BLNK network will enhance the user experience across all segments, including residential, multifamily, retail, workplace, hospitality, bringing functionality together in one platform, including fleet management, making the BLNK network the most comprehensive EV network in the market. So that's also another good thing, just further streamlining the whole process for all of these different sections, for all of these different types of, customers, essentially. BLNK also launched the new BLNK Charging mobile app, designed to make the charging experience easier and more accessible for both home and public charging. It puts EV drivers in control by giving them improved search capabilities, allowing them to search for nearby amenities as well as chargers by zip codes, city, business, category, or address. It also features expanded keyword search, enabling drivers to search for nearby activities such as a cafe or shopping center that are near a charging station, seamlessly integrating EV charging into everyday life. So these are some features here. They're definitely good to have. Other networks sort of have these already, but it is definitely good to have BLNK start to, get on board with these features that a number of other networks sort of have here. The BLNK Charging app personalizes the user experience by allowing users to save their favorite chargers, manage payment information, as well as view payment history and real-time charging information, including estimated time left to charge and estimated costs. So some really important features mentioned here, definitely very critical to have when operating an EV charging network. The new updates require current EV drivers to download the BLNK Charging mobile app in order to take advantage of the new functionality it provides. And I should clarify here that there are now basically two BLNK Charging apps. There's an old one that no longer works. It just gives you basically these errors whenever you try and do anything. And then there's the new one that they're making you download now. And if we take a look over at this new one here, we can see straight off the bat that this thing is not very, it's not reviewed very highly right now. Now, of course, this app did come out just about a week ago or so. So there are surely just a lot of issues here that will get solved as we go on here fairly soon. But the previous app, that also didn't have very good reviews. So, some of these things are surely things that are just because it's super new, but some of these things could be more permanent kind of problems that stick around for a while here. So you know, we got 4 screenshots here of kind of what the app looks like. You've got the charging, you get the standard map with the chargers here. Then you've got this list of kind of chargers. You can filter it. Right here they've kind of got them organized by the ones that are closest to you. But then, you know, a big thing here is that there's a lot of information now provided here. You can see pricing, you can see hours, nearby amenities, whatever, charging speed. Another thing, you can see which chargers are available, which ones are being used. All of these things are extremely important to have, you know, when operating a network, and you know, it's awesome to see Blink start to kind of adopt these features. So really good to see all of that start to happen here with this new app. And I do think that this is overall a step in the right direction for Blink. But there are definitely a lot of problems here. As you can see, a lot of these people using the app right now, they are not having a very positive experience here. The app is hot garbage right out of the box. In the sign-up screen where you choose year and make a vehicle, you can choose a year, but the pop-up menu for the make is full of blank choices. You can't continue. Apparently it's too much to ask programmers to take the full time to test this new app before shutting down the old one. So obviously, as you scroll through here, lots and lots of 1-star ratings. The overwhelming majority. There's a few higher rated ones, but still, there's always kind of a negative sentiment here. The new app is really slow to do anything. It took about 5 minutes to add a new vehicle. It just sits there. Hopefully Blink is able to address this soon. Then they do have an update. Seems to be a lot faster after the initial rollout issues. So again, there's going to be issues with this app right off the bat because it is so new, but hopefully some of these kind of technical issues end up getting fixed over time. Then we've got this person here that says that they've made a few Android apps. What went wrong here? The login screen is buggy. It's not loading any stations. It's not loading the account page. Seems massively under-tested. It's a good thing I use ChargePoint and SemaConnect via PlugShare far more often, or I'd be upset. And as you continue going down here, there's just lots of reviews, 2 stars, 1 star. Lots of people having a very poor experience. There are some exceptions here, of course. This app is awesome. I love that I can find chargers near my outings. Sign up was a breeze. So there are people here that are having good experiences with this, but the overwhelming majority is negative. Now, of course, moving on here, this is still very good news for Blink, in my opinion. A lot of these issues can be solved through, you know, updates and stuff like that. So I don't think that a lot of these problems are going to persist forever, but I wouldn't necessarily be surprised if they do stick around for a while, because they've seemed kind of slow to kind of make changes and fix a lot of their issues historically. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's kind of the case for this as well. And because of that kind of concern, I am also concerned about all of these other networks that they plan to combine under this network and app. For example, if you've used SemaConnect and you've never had any problems with it, you might still end up having problems in the future if it does get added to this new Blink network in Blink Charging Mobile app. If it gets added here, all of these problems that exist with this app and potentially the network itself, all of these problems could end up kind of carrying over to all of these new networks that Blink has acquired, and that is something that I'm concerned about, is whether this is going to affect all of these other networks, which up until now perhaps have been running completely fine, but in the future, once they're added here, may not work as well. Now, beyond this news of this new charging network overhaul and Blink charging app, I still do have my concerns about Blink's hardware and their overall business as a whole. Basically, the first thing there is that their hardware is oftentimes out of service. I've seen it myself. I've seen a station, a little charger that has this red box on there, and it just says out of service. You can't use it. And that's something that a lot of people have had issues with, is lots of their stations are out of service. And I don't know what the deal is, whether they're just breaking down more often than the other networks, or if they're breaking down at the same rate as other networks and Blink just doesn't go ahead and repair them in a timely manner. Don't know what the deal is, but that's just an issue that's out there, and I'm pretty sure that this new piece of news is not going to be something that fixes it. Could be wrong, maybe there is some improvements there, but I think that it is not something that's going to go ahead and fix that situation. And then my second big concern here with Blink is their pricing. If you take a look at some of these screenshots, you can see that in this area, wherever this screenshot was taken, they were charging 49 cents per kilowatt hour. And this is very similar to what it is in my area. A lot of the stations I'm seeing are about 49 cents per kilowatt hour as well. But if I was to charge at home, it would be about 15 cents per kilowatt hour. So personally, I've avoided using Blink chargers because they're just a lot more, you know. And obviously, if you are in a circumstance where you were on a road trip or whatever and you needed to, you know, charge your battery because you had to, you know, then this would be fine. It would be fine to pay this rate. But if it's just something in a retail area like a cafe or a shopping center, as Blink goes ahead and kind of gives as examples over here, a rate of like 49 cents per kilowatt hour is just way too high, and I would never pay it in those kinds of cases. Now, this could make sense in something like a hotel or something, having a level 2 station out front, and you're charging there overnight while you're on a road trip or whatever. I could see that working perfectly fine. And of course, this would also work fine as if these were DC fast charging stations, and you know you were stopping here to charge as fast as possible, and then move on with your road trip. These prices, and probably prices even higher than this actually, would be acceptable for DC fast charging stations. But in the case of these kinds of level 2 stations, especially those ones that are kind of just at a cafe or a shopping plaza, somewhere where you probably already have close to a full charge and you'll be going back home pretty soon anyway, a 49 cents per kilowatt hour rate is just very high, and I personally don't use it. Obviously, there is demand there. There's people that use these stations at those prices, so it is working out to some degree for Blink. But I'm concerned that this is not something that's going to go ahead and be sustainable in the future, as the whole charging industry gets more and more commoditized, kind of, and prices get pushed downwards. So those are the two main concerns that I have with Blink's business, is that their chargers are often out of service, and then their pricing is also very high in my opinion. If you take a look over at their stock, we can see that they're at a market cap of $730 million right now. Definitely a lot lower than they have been historically. They've gotten down towards these levels before, but still, these are pretty much their all-time lows. So there's been no better time to buy Blink stock, kind of, as far as the price goes, but still, it's not something that I'm willing to go ahead and invest in. You take a look at some of these ratios here. They've got a price to sales of 17.7, price to book of 2.6. You know, the price to sales is worse than ChargePoint in my opinion. ChargePoint is a company that I believe is much better than Blink. It's not something that I own. I don't own either ChargePoint or Blink, but still I prefer ChargePoint over Blink. And ChargePoint's price to sales is substantially lower than Blink right now. However, their price to book is a different story. Blink's price to book much more favorable compared to ChargePoint's 10.9. So those are my thoughts on the stock. It's not something that I'm buying right now, and quite frankly, even if the market cap was like $600 million, I probably would not be buying this. Their business is just not something that necessarily interests me. There's a lot of other charging networks that I would prefer to own over Blink, and even still, there's a lot of other companies that I think are a lot better than a lot of these charging networks. I don't own any charging networks. The closest thing that I have to a charging network would be Tesla, which is obviously much, much larger than just a charging network. But yeah, I don't personally own ChargePoint or Volta or EVgo or Blink or any of these things. So that's kind of all of my thoughts here on Blink's stock and all of this new news here about Blink's new network overhaul and new charging app. Now, as I've discussed previously on this channel, I do find Volta's business model to be particularly interesting with their giant advertising displays. And that's actually something that Blink has been trying to get into as well. I've got a video about that and a lot of other charging companies as well. So be sure to check out some of those videos, and I'll see you guys in the next video.